Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at how to set up your instrument groups so that you can get the most out of LiveLight and fill out your drops and your intros to the fullest extent possible. Let's get started. I've already got a group set up with a MIDI channel, and we're going to go ahead and drag an instrument rack onto it. We can rename the MIDI channel Chords. Go ahead and go to your plugin list. I hope you have Serum because that's what we're going to be working with, and drag an instance of Serum onto it. Now you can rename the first instance Chords, and we're going to create a simple 4-bar loop right quick. We're going to be working in the F3 range. That doesn't sound too good. Let's spice that sound up a little bit. Don't forget to give yourself headroom in the instrument rack. So, we got our chord structure. Let's go ahead and dress it up with an arpeggio. You can select your chords in the instrument rack, and we'll rename the second instance ARP. Make sure ARP is highlighted, and go over and initialize the preset, and let's solo it. Alright, so we're back to square one. Speaking of square, let's turn this from a saw wave into a square wave. You click the little pencil, open up the wavetable editor, click and drag to make a square wave. Except that doesn't sound like an ARP. So let's go ahead and get one of our MIDI effects. It's the top of the list, and drag it on top of the ARP. Make sure it is not in the entire instrument rack, but just on ARP. And set the rate to 16, and you should have this. We can dress up the ARP sound a little bit by adding some reverb and slight delay. Delay first. Let's see. Slight reverb. We'll turn plate in small size, low mix. And compress it all. And the compressor really gives us some nice transients. So, that's our chord structure. Let's hear it together. Alright, so the saw chords sound a little boring. What we can do is go to our level and throw LFO1 on it. Give it a nice pumping effect. Now we want to fill this out with maybe like a mid-range bass. So let's drag a new instance of Serum. We don't want to copy and paste. And we will rename this one Bass 1. Make sure to give yourself headroom. Now before we actually get into making the sound, let's look at how we're going to make it work with the MIDI clip. Go over to your instrument rack and click Key. And this lets you see what keys are being activated when the synth is used. So right now it's activating all three synths because they all take up the entire key range. But if we look, we want the first two to sit around the F3, D sharp 3 range. So we can go ahead and drag. And we'll stop at C because sweet. So now we should have D3 all the way down for our mid-range bass. So let's go ahead and design that sound right now. Click up to change the wavetable, and we'll be using something from the digital pack called Cream. Let's find a spot that sounds nice and harmonically rich. There we go. Create an LFO doing eighth notes and make it a pluck. Add some compression, multiband. And I think I'm happy with that for right now. Let's go ahead and click our first MIDI clip, and we'll put this in the F1 range. I'm sorry, F0. Sweet, let's hear it all together. That's not too bad. Only thing we're missing now is a lead. Let's drag one more instance of Serum, and we'll rename this one lead. Set our headroom, and let's turn our lead from a saw wave to a square wave once again. Slight filter to soften it, and then we'll make it mono and legato voicing with some slight portamento so that it has a nice dip in between notes. We'll set the range outside of everything else so that we're working primarily in this D4 upwards, and we'll introduce it at the 5th bar. So let's make sure that it stays within our key. And let's see. This should work kind of nicely. I like that. It's a nice simple melody. Except I don't want it in that octave. I want it in the C3 range. So what we can do is highlight our lead and just drop the wave table an octave. Let's add some compression. And I'm going to keep that one kind of dry, but we can add some more voices and bring the detune down so it phases with itself. Now, we're going to get some weird stereo issues on that, so we can go ahead and drop a utility on lead, create it. We'll choose the left channel, and then a second utility can spread it back out. So it's not necessarily mono, but we're getting rid of any weird left and right phasing that would create mix issues later on. And we're still getting that phasey kind of sound effect from it. I like how that sounds. So that's pretty much how you would set up your intro, and the process for setting up your drop synths would be the exact same. And I don't really feel the need to go into that. I think that pretty much covers everything. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I'll catch y'all next time.
Let's get lit tonight. Can you feel the vibes?